Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode. This time we're going to have a look at flowering annuals, adding colour to your garden. And as you can see, I've just potted up these new ones. These are pansies, and they're one of my favourite annuals actually. They are such good performers, and they'll flower pretty much for the next 2 or 3 months non-stop. They bring in the insects, the bees. Not sure about butterflies, but definitely bees. There are other plants out there that I did have in here before, the zinnias. The butterflies seem to like them. But if you want to add interest and a little bit of life to your garden, adding flowers is a great way to do it. Also, having a water feature like this bird bath. We get birds that come in here all the time and splash around, and it's absolutely amazing to watch and good fun. With annuals, though, there are two types. So you've got your winter annuals, which are specifically a hardier, tolerant, frost tolerant sort of annuals that don't mind it cold, and then these summer annuals. But if you're looking at flowering colour in your garden, permanent gardening, then you probably need to look at herbaceous perennials. We're going to have a closer look at both of these. We'll see what varieties are available, and we'll have a look at their perennial border next. Okay, some potted colours, some gazanias, delphinium, dianthus, marigolds, silicias, zinnias, salvias and cosmos. In the next line we've got some lobelia, lycium, begonias and petunias, some impatiens. And over here we've got some annual days. And some osteospermums and some impatiens. Okay guys, this is the perennial garden at Auckland Botanical Gardens. Lots of seasonal change. Really looks good in the summer when all these plants are just looking at their best. We've got all sorts of different plants coming up. We've got some salvias. That beautiful little purple plant that's called Heliotropum has a beautiful smell. Lamb's ears, which is more like a ground cover, not really a perennial, but just looking really nice with a bit of silver. Up here we've got the cannas. Not looking the best, but that's a yellow canna. That one's called Canna Eden. It's a yellow, quite a nice yellow one, and cannas get up to about 1 to 2 meters. Looking at some nice verbena, very bright verbena, and then argyratum, blue argyratum, which looks really quite nice. We've got the yellow of the rudbeckia, and some different ones down here, some verbenas at the front, some daylilies. This one's called Hemerocallis squeaky. It's a daily, and it's a yellow one, nice. Looks like a big alocasia or a taro leaf back there to give a bit of textural sort of change. All these different plants down here, lots of different ones, different types of canna. This one here is Canna tropicana. It was very popular about 10 years ago. Here you can see it's got this sort of tropical leaf to it, nice sort of purple tones. And actually the flower isn't too shabby either, that looks pretty good. Coming down here, and you see it's a taller plant. So this is a big border. If I sort of pan back a little bit, you can see that border is probably about 7 or 8 meters, and you can see when you get that sort of depth to the border, you get some very nice sort of changes in heights and changes in texture, and of course flower color. Coming down here, all sorts. Rudbeckias, there's a smaller rudbeckia there, that's that little yellow flower on it. But yes, these perennial borders look awesome now. They look the best at the moment, and wintertime not looking so good. And then a lot of these plants will get chopped back, and basically you won't sort of see them. People don't, there'll be still things flowering, but nothing like this. This is looking really good. And as you can see, look at all the insects, look at the bees all coming in. There's lots and lots of bees, very, very good for the garden. And I think, you know what, I think it's good for people to have flowering plants. So, looking back, you can sort of see this is the perennial garden at Auckland Botanical Gardens. Looking really, really nice at the moment. On this side, we've got more of a grey-blue theme going. Different types of cannas, different grey plants there, just growing up with a bit of silver, a bit of Santalinis, a bit of Santalina, different plants, some penstemons. I used to quite like putting penstemons in my garden. There's a really nice purple to pink one that you can sort of pick, and it's pretty long lasting. Had it in my garden for quite a while. So, you know, they're good plants to use, give you a whole bunch of colour, and yeah, looking pretty good. So for containers and pots, if you want to add colour, you can add permanent trees and shrubs to pots, and this one is an azalea, this one is a hibiscus. It's just in bud now, so in the next few months that will come into flower, and the azalea should flower for the next about 3-4 weeks at least. And of course we've seen the mandevilla over here, which is still flowering, and that's been a prolific flower over summer and now into the autumn. The hydrangeas that were here looked great, but now I've moved them off into another place because they now, with hydrangeas, they're deciduous, and so they're not looking the best. So where I've got them here, I want things to look really good, so that from inside we can really appreciate the things that are looking good, and things that are not looking good we can put them away. And that's containers. One other thing with containers, if you can, when you're using containers, just try and stick to one theme. So here I've kind of gone a little bit sort of terracotta look. The only other colour is black. Black's a good colour for pots. It really sort of highlights the foliage. Okay guys, we'll leave it there. That's a little bit of an insight to annuals and flowering plants, and putting things in containers.